Australia has been producing livestock for 2 centuries. In the last 30 years, the livestock production industry has given rise to a viable live sheep and cattle export industry as well. Since 2005, around 4 million sheep have been exported every year, and cattle exports have been almost as high as 1 million head a year. In total, our live animal trade returns just over $1 billion to the economy annually.
Live exports critical to anyone who produces livestock in Australia because it is widely acknowledged and accepted that it underpins the pricing for both domestic and export livestock over the whole country.
And while some people want the trade stopped, Australia's livestock export industry today sets the standard for world's best practice. Animal welfare is monitored and maintained at every stage of the export process. Before the journey starts, livestock are rested, watered and introduced to their feed ration.
This pellet is used in the feedlot for 5 days prior to the animals going on the ship. It is the same ration that goes on board the ship.
And we started on hay first, then on to pellets, and then eventually they'll be straight pellets, because that's what they get on the ship, obviously, is pellets.
Vets accredited by the Australian Government's Quarantine and Inspection Service monitor the loading of all vessels. Accredited Australian stockmen travel on board and lead the crew, keeping an eye on the livestock's welfare during the voyage, and vets provide an extra level of care on all journeys to the Middle East.
We report daily to the Australian Government. Then at the end of the voyage, I put together a much more detailed voyage report.
All vessels must meet strict requirements about the design and size of pens, animals per pen, food, water, ventilation and lighting. Over 99% of the sheep and cattle arrive at their destination fit and healthy. All Australian livestock exported overseas are given access to feed, clean water and shade. Australian animal welfare experts train local stock handlers, and our industry is also helping to upgrade facilities.
We're the only country making that investment in feed yards and in distribution and in handling facilities and ensuring that the welfare of the animals can be preserved.
This welfare program is managed by the producer organisation Meat and Livestock Australia and the exporters body LiveCorp. And it's a strategy that helps ensure there's a future for the Australian livestock producers who rely on the trade.
If they stop the live exports trade, overnight sheep prices would fall by half, if not more. It would be devastating.
Without it, we wouldn't have a business. And that goes for plenty of other people in the Northern Territory too.
This is an industry that sustains this part of Australia, and many families and Aboriginal communities depend on it.
Australia's livestock export industry, supplying quality food to the world, setting the benchmark for animal welfare and supporting Australian farming families and communities.